This is the Red All Over Away End Show, so welcome my friends to the show that never ends. Red All Over with our friend Matt Farley from Stevenage Borough FC podcast. If you're watching this, please like and subscribe it. You know it makes sense, looks good. If you're not watching it, there's no hope. There's no hope. You need to get somebody who is watching to tell you so you can sort it out. I'd love to read comments on this show, please, and I promise you that I will reply to every single one of them. Right, enough of my wittering. Let's get on with it. Let's get on to it. Before we start discussing it, I just want to say on behalf of Red All Over, and I would assume on behalf of most Barnsley fans, if not all Barnsley fans, that our condolences and best wishes go to the family of 19-year-old Ollie Gatfield, who was involved in a car accident on the way home from the game on Saturday for Stevenage. It's nobody should go to football matches and not get home. It's an absolute tragedy. And also just to say, Liam Sharp, who was in the car with him, to say good luck with your recovery. My understanding is that he's in a coma, so that's not great news, but fingers crossed for Liam as well. So we've been asked by Stevenage and by such as Matt that there'll be applause at the game on the 19th minute, because Ollie Gatfield was 19 years old. So I would hope that any Barnsley fan that's going, and there seems to be quite a few, at least 1,000, I think, please let's have a minute's applause in the 19th minute, and I think that'd be much appreciated. Is that okay, Matt?
Yeah, perfect.
Right, Matt, let's get into this then. Let's get into it. Having done that, I sent you a few questions. It's not in a tablet of stone, because I mean we've played each other, haven't we, recently? I mean it's like, you know, Barnsley and Stevenage. It's like one game comes along and then another one comes along straight away. You know, flipping heck.
2 in a month, man.
Fortunately, we came good in the end. You took an early lead. We're about the fourth minute or something like that. I think it was pretty, from us, it was pretty weak, what I would call pappy defending on the 4th minute, but the lad, was it Wilding? I'm trying to remember.
Luther Wilding, yeah, the right back, yeah.
He took it really well. He get it some hammer and put it in. And then our equaliser in the first half, 30-odd minutes. John McAtee with, I would like to say, a once in a million lob over the keeper, but he's done it again. He's done it again since and come close a third time. So, and then a 70th minute winner from Herbie Kane, who went forward with the ball, hit it, took a wicked deflection. I was devastated. Such a wicked deflection, and we finished up 2-1, which for us were a big win, because you were above us and up there, and in fact are still up there. So, tell us, how do you think it's going this season for you?
Oh, Andy, my man, it's first of all, it's an absolute pleasure to come on here. I have listened to the channel.
I can't get anybody else, Matt.
Oh, mate, it's a pleasure. No, honestly, I have listened to the channel in the past, and I think for me, being a Stevenage fan, I've listened to the channel in the past, kind of believing my team would never play here, almost. I'd never be on. So, yeah, look, it's been incredible. Just to be in this league, I've watched my team up and down the country for a long time, but the last 9 years in League Two, the last 6 years down the bottom of League Two. One season we had more managers than wins. We technically got relegated. We were kept up because Macclesfield and Bury dropped out of the Football League. We nearly got relegated again, and then Steve's come in and kept us up that season. I remember that season, a horrible season a couple of years ago. And I remember thinking he got that team winning at the end of the season and kept us up by about 12 points at the end. And I remember thinking, God, if he could get that team winning, then he's an absolute genius, because that team were useless. Let me tell you, they were dreadful. And he got that team like 5 wins out of 7 or something like that at the end and kept us up. And then built that magnificent squad last season that got us promoted. That was an unreal year. I'll always remember there are a couple of nights that stick out in mind. Obviously, promotion night or promotion day, I should say, a special day when we got promoted to League One, and it all felt a little bit of a dream for Stevenage fans, given the the last kind of 6 years. The night at Swindon where we set up promotion day prior to it, and then the game at Barrow where we ended League Two, and it was like a kiss goodbye to all the pain that we'd had for 6 years. So it's been unreal coming into League One. I've loved it. It's been my favourite season. Just seeing the team play in front of, big crowds, big stadiums. And then to go along with that, we've had 26 matches. We've got 30 wins, half a wins. And we're sitting seventh, 46 points, which is, us pretty much safe and pretty much in the League One playoff race. And I've had to keep pinching myself for 6 months, really. It's been an incredible season for us. Coming up to League One, it was, what do we want to do? Do we want to keep that team that got us promoted? Or do we want to upgrade the team and be competitive? And, Steve did that. He kept all the players that would be able to adapt to the level and then brought in but a lot of the top League One players like your Nathan Thompsons and Dan Butlers who played in the playoffs last year for Peterborough, and Louis Thompson that played Championship, Ben Thompson that had also played Championship. And we just upgraded the team. We've kept the same style, but because it's upgraded and we've got better players, we do the style better. And it's been brilliant. I think what we did really well, we got a great start to the season. We won our opening 3 games. That set us off really well, which I think is important as a newly promoted side. The home form's been excellent. We've just had 1 loss at home for about 14 odd games. And the away form, we've got 8 wins. So it's been a magnificent season. We've had a lot of good wins, a lot of 3-0 victories as well. And yeah, we seem to get better and better. And we're hoping for a very exciting last 20 games. And again, feels like I'm in a dream, Andy. Honestly, I can't believe we're up there with 20 to go, but we're very proud and we're very behind our team.
It's getting quite tight at the top as well, isn't it? Because we're 3 points above you. I know that, but that means nothing week to week. And we're only 4 points away from the top. With 3 points behind second, 4 points away from the top, we're game in hand. So it's becoming very, very tight. There's teams dropping points and other teams coming up. And I know you've dropped out of the playoffs, but it's only just. It could change on Saturday and certainly change by the end of next week, wouldn't it? Anybody. So you talked about your style. Tell us about your style of play. I know we saw the match at Oakwell. I know with that. But yep. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's the same as your style at home, your formation and style at home. It might well be, but I don't know.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I know we were just talking off the pod and we were gutted not to get a point that day. It wasn't actually one of our better performances, believe it or not. We've played a lot better than that this season, a lot better. So our style in a nutshell, we're very direct, we're very fast. We get the ball forward early, and then we like to play with the creative quality players in and around the box, like the Jordan Roberts, etc., Jake Forster-Kaskis. We get the ball into the box at any opportunity that we're around the box. We're very strong from set pieces, and we like to press the whole game. We don't really stop going. We're a very fit team, and we're very well known for scoring last-minute winners, goals in the 100th minute because we just got such a fit group. And really, that's the style in a nutshell. I think what we've also got to the squad is we've got excellent depth there with the team, and we can play different kind of variations of football. We've got some technically some really good players like Jake Forster-Kaski, Ben Thompson, who are really good footballers, so we can play a bit of good football as well. But mainly from us, you'll see the ball forward early, the ball in your half. We like to squash up, we like to get you back and kind of control and suffocate you to do the things that we want to do in the game. So I think you will see that a lot more on the game Saturday, because when I think about our style, I think that from memory, a lot of the home matches we've been able to do that. So yeah, that's our style in a nutshell. That's what you'll see on Saturday in the game.
Well, I know you watched the match last night, Matt. So you'll know fully that by pressing us and trying to get us to make mistakes at the back, we won't. We'll not make any mistakes at the back, as you saw last night at home to Carlisle. So don't try too hard, because wasted efforts. It'll not work. It'll just not work. And of course, as well as your Jordan Roberts, you've got Kane Hemmings that used to play for us. I'm pleased for him. I'm really pleased for Kane Hemmings, because it came down to us from Scotland, and it didn't quite work out. It was almost going to be really, really good, and it didn't quite work out for him, like it happens with certain players at certain clubs. So I'm glad that he's gone on and he's making a good name for himself.
Yeah.
And of course, you all that pressing and making mistakes. You haven't really got anybody up front that can put the ball in the net, have you?
Well, we say that, but there's a certain name called Big Goal Reedy, of course, which is steeped in. Do you know what? I absolutely love him. I just love him so much, Jamie Reid. I really do, and I think he was the guy that our player that hit the post that then Luther tapped him for. What a season! I mean, it's really funny with Reedy. I remember when we first got Reedy, and this was 2 years ago, well, over 2 years ago. We were down the bottom of League Two. And when we got him, you could see potential, but he was kind of in limbo in his career. We didn't really know what he was going to do. And then Steve come in the back end of that season. He started to score goals, and we thought, there's a little kind of diamond in the rough here. We hopefully we'll keep him and see where he goes. And then last year, he just got this nickname of Big Goal Reedy because he just scored in big games, big goals. And he got the nickname. And then this season, he's just improved 5 times to what he was last year. 15 goals, third top goal scorer in the league, I believe. Incredible player. And, he's improved so much. It's not just in front of goal with him. And by the way, he should have a lot more goals than he's got. He's missed a few one-on-ones and a few sitters. But it's his overall play. It's his holding up of the ball. It's his drawing fouls. It's his running off the shoulder. It's all these other kind of factors to his game. He's massively improved. And he is having a truly unbelievable season. And, I think Reedy's 29, he's 30 this year, I believe. What a season. And he's doing it again. He's scored, got the winner at Shrewsbury on Saturday. Again, big game for us, needed a win, big moment. And he's vital. I think we pulled up a stat the other day that if it wasn't for Reedy, we would have, I think, 13 points less than we've got this season, and I think someone said we'd be something like 13th or 12th. So it shows you the impact he's had. But yeah, I love the guy. He's a legend at the club. And a lot of people might say he's not just yet. He is to me. I got a Jamie Reid t-shirt in the other room. I love the guy. He's our striker.
Let me ask you this, because this bit interests me. Obviously, you know that we've got Devante Cole, who's out of contract at the end of the season, as a number of players, and all our fans are talking about how much we're going to get for him in this January window, that it's going to be sold in the January. Do you get a Stevenage? Do you get that about Jamie Reid? Do you get loads of fans that saying, they'll cash in on him?
Do you know what? It's really funny you say that. We were having this discussion on the supporters coach going up to Shrewsbury last week, because look, we've had this thing of, is anyone going to come in for Reedy? A lot of people have said no because of his age, etc. But there has been those discussions of, if someone does come in, do we cash in, considering where Reedy was when we first got him? And a lot of people actually think, it wouldn't be a bad idea to cash in. I think it's farcical. You try and keep your goal scorers. Do you know what I mean? I've seen teams over the years where I always use Tranmere, actually, from a good few years ago. I didn't particularly think Tranmere were a great side. And then they had James Norwood 6 years ago. He scored 26 goals and got promoted. I remember thinking, Tranmere aren't a good side. How have they gone up with? But it was Norwood. It was the striker. So, the striker's value. When you got a goal scorer, you always want to keep them. Do you know what I mean? Regardless if a big side comes in. So we do get that a lot with Reedy. Do we cash in because of his age and where we got him? I hope not. I love him.
Heard it. I seem to remember that. James Norwood. That name sounds familiar to me. I think. I can't. I don't know why, but it comes up. It comes up. As soon as you said his name, I thought, I've heard of him. I don't know.
Tell you what, him and Devante Cole this season, that'd have been interesting, wouldn't it?
Oh, I'll tell you this, Matt. Well, I say most. I'm not going to speak for every Barnsley fan, but me and all the people are absolutely devastated that he left just before the season started.
Yeah,
I know we've got others, but he weren't the top scorer, that went to Cole, but he brought something to us that we'd not got. Without swearing, what I'd call housery. That that go on, he got Devante going as well, got him up and going, and others round him. And for whatever reason, our manager at the time, Michael Duff, didn't pick him for the Wembley final playoff against Sheffield Wednesday.
Crazy.
And he came on in the second half, and I thought he was trying to win the game for us single-handedly in the second half. He was phenomenal. Gutted that he's gone. And there's loads of speculation that he's coming back, but I don't believe for 1 second it's true.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because I remember when
it's not happened.
Yeah, I remember when he left you. Really? They've let him go, and I think it's farcical that I think it's Oldham, isn't it, in the National League? Yeah. What is he doing there? Like, he should minimum be League Two. Like, there's got to be a side in just League Two. I don't know. I know Barrow got Stockton today, but like a Barrow like, surely he can get in that league. He's not National League. Do you know what I mean?
Not at all.
Yeah, disappointing that. Yeah.
You've hardly lost, haven't you? Apart from recently when you lost to us, obviously, and who else did you lose? I'm trying to think.
Portsmouth,
Pompey. Apart from those two matches, you've not lost. You've not lost since mid-October, which is a phenomenal. I know you went on a long run. It's a phenomenal set of results. So hopefully you will on Saturday. But it's going to be an interesting game because we're on a 10 game unbeaten run.
Yeah.
Although, as you watched it last night, you wouldn't have thought.
I was just thinking, Andy, hopefully the roles are reversed now, because I remember you were our first loss in 2 months. Hopefully we can be your first loss in 2 months, 10 games or whatnot. But yeah,
it'll not happen, Matt. Take it easy. It'll not happen.
So I didn't want to throw that one in there, but no, you're right. Look, we've had 6 losses this season. Math's not perfect. That means 20 of the games we've played, we've got results, 13 wins, 7 draws, which is great for us. 6 losses. I think the other interesting stat really as well, when we've spoken about this a lot on our podcast at the club, is 5 of the losses are against all the top sides. Yeah. So we've just got 1 loss, and that's against Reading, of a team down the bottom. That was our first loss this season back in August. We shouldn't have lost that day. We've lost pretty much against not all the other top sides, because we beat Derby and drew with Peterborough and Portsmouth, but we've had 5 other losses. So that, in my mind, really positive. It shows you that we're not really part of that pack down the bottom. We're up the top with the sides. But yeah, look, we lost yourselves when we lost you 2-1 day before Christmas Eve. Yeah, that was our first loss since Blackpool, which was a 3-0 loss in October. And then we lost to Portsmouth. And can I just say, by the way, that the performance at Portsmouth was fantastic. Like, we should have come away with a point that day. We missed chance after chance in the second half. We could have had a penalty with a handball. Honestly, with about 10 minutes to go, we were kind of thinking, we'll score soon. I remember coming out the ground at Fratton Park after, and all the Portsmouth fans were like, how you not got a result there? We second half, we were brilliant, and Portsmouth looked like they didn't really know what to do in the game. But we were brilliant second half. But yeah, just 6 losses. When I look back to the losses in each of the games, they're things that when we've played one of the top sides, we've needed to improve on, and we have over the 4 months. And I think the one thing that we've struggled with when we've played the top footballing sides is the transition through between the lines. Sometimes we've been caught, but we've really improved on that. And I think we saw when we played Portsmouth away, Peterborough at home, that we've really improved in that sector. So yeah, just 6 losses, which we're over the moon about. Obviously, first season in League One in this new era. So yeah, it's been going great. And really the losses over Christmas, I think, in the long run, and I know I said this at the games, probably not the worst thing in the world. I think it allowed the team and the manager to reassess things. Although we lost to Maidstone, but I'm not going to throw that one in there. But yeah, no.
At least you went out the FA Cup the proper way.
Well, yeah, there is that as well. And the thing with that as well, we've normally been the team over the last 18 months to be the team that upsets the side. So for it to be on the other foot was a bit weird. But no, over Christmas we've played really well. And the losses we've had, Portsmouth we shouldn't have lost. So yeah, just 6 losses on the board. We just keep going. We keep going.
Your positivity is giving me a right headache. I can tell you that much. My God, you're giving me a headache.
You should hear a lot of the fans. They're like, he's doing my head. It is.
Well, they think I'm positive, but I think a lot of our things. I think we're all positive on Red all over, but nothing compared to you. So,
Oh.
how do you think the season's going to pan out for you then? Because it's it's not that many months left, is it? Just under half a season, so there's still plenty of games to play. Like you say, about 20 games, isn't there? So there's still plenty of games
Yep.
to play. So anything could happen, but there's no signs of you dropping away, none at all.
Yeah, good point. I think one thing this season, look, we had a brilliant start. We got 3 wins out of 3. We had 1 loss in a couple of months or whatnot. And I think everyone kind of thought, when's that inevitable, drop going to come?
Yeah.
And it hasn't really. We've stayed there the whole season. And I really believe, and I said this to a few of the chaps in our pod the other night, I really believe we're going to make the playoffs. I'd love to sit here and go automatics. And I'm the type of guy that, because I'm an absolute nutter, Andy, I'd go, yeah, go on, we're going to do it. And maybe we can, but because we're only, 6-7 points off. But I think if I'm being realistic, I think we're going to do it. And the manager, Steve Evans, said, if we're there by the end of Feb, we'll do it. Because one thing that's gone under the radar with our side, a lot of the new players that we've recruited are players that pretty much make the playoffs every season. That they always, with other sides, they find a way to get the results to make the playoffs. They've just done it with other sides. And then when I look at the original players that play for us, they're players that have experienced getting over a line in promotion last season. So they've had that pressure of the last 10 games, or you've got to get results, and they've come through and showed that they can do that. So I think we've got a team here that know how to get over the line when the pressure's on, have proved it before, whether it's with other sides or we've done it previously. And I just think with the manager, the squad depth, the fact that we've got, every player's a starting player. We don't really have any reserves. I just think we're going to do it. Obviously, I think we have to make sure that we don't get injuries, and that's a big factor. We've got to make sure that we recruit well in January. Well, we've done that today. We've signed a really good, credible striker that's played under the manager before in League One. And if we do that and get through those things, I think we're going to do it. But don't get me wrong, it's going to be tough. There's some top sides up there, big clubs, a lot of money. So we understand.
We're not one of them. We're not one of them with a lot of money. I'll tell you that.
Bless you. Or maybe the big club. We'll stick with the big club, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I just fully believe in this team. I just think we've got everything to go and do it. And I think we'll be in the playoffs at the end of the season. I think the manager will get us in there. Yeah.
If I would honestly say, if anybody can, to be Steve Evans. I remember, and we remember Steve Evans very, very well from our close neighbours, Rotherham.
Yeah.
And he got them playing phenomenally well. He's often a Marmite character that people either really, really love him to bits or can't stand him. I think he's an exceptional manager and is a real motivator. By whatever means it is, and I don't know what his secret is, but he gets the best out. For me, he gets the best out of players. So, for that, I think you could easily and should finish in the. I'd love you to finish in the playoffs.
Yeah, and by the way, hearing you say that just gives me go, because I'm like, what are we doing here? Do you know what I mean? Just hearing you say that just makes me feel proud. Like, getting a League One playoff place. It's just. After the journey we've been on, it's incredible. I'd love us to do it. I'd love to see it.
I mean, for me, I would love us to get automatic promotion. Can't stand another player. Can't cope with it.
I can imagine.
I don't think we'll get automatic promotion. So I do hope we get in the playoffs as well and stay in the playoffs. And it would be lovely. For me, it would be lovely if we could play each other at Wembley and we could wax you just to stop you being so damn positive.
Well, I'd tell you one thing. I'd tell you one thing for sure. If we did meet at Wembley, you'd probably have about 25, 30,000, and we'd have about 6. So you'd see two contrasts of half the ground fill and that infill. That's for sure.
When we played Sheffield Wednesday last the end of last season, we brought to whatever it was 20,000, like 23,000, I think. And if you listen to Sheffield Wednesday fans, they brought 500,000. So it's all relative.
Oh yeah.
It's not always numerically. It's the it's how fans are. And I remember you being very noisy at Oakwell. And it's what football's about.
That's it. And I think for me, Andy, as well, I think I said this to you when I think maybe come on a Gab Sutton thing months ago. like for me, I've got some friends that live up in Yorkshire, and they're big Leeds fans, and I remember.
Don't come
Yeah,
on
I
a don't
know,
come
I
on a
know.
Barnsley thing. Start talking about Leeds.
Sorry, I'm going to throw
Oh
it in
my
there.
God!
And he's actually been to watch Stevenage. He hasn't been this season, see us in League One, but about a couple of years ago, I went up to watch like his little brother play for like Rochdale Development Squad, and he was playing on the 3G pitches behind Oakwells. I think it's behind the away end. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
And and I remember going up, and I remember, well, at first I actually thought he was playing on Oakwell, but it turned out he wasn't. I turned up, and I remember pulling into the car park, thinking, oh my God. And at the time, we were the bottom in League Two. We had Alex Ravel in charge, who's the coach now. I remember pulling in, you guys were at the Championship, and I remember looking, thinking, oh, I'd love to come and watch Stevenage play one day, like in an FA Cup tie, because I never thought we'd be in, same league. And I remember sitting in the car outside the not the main stand, the opposite one at your ground. And I remember sitting in the car and going on a Forest Green Rovers podcast because we had them next. We lost that day 4-0 in the car park, right? And I swear to God, if someone would have said to me, here in 2 years' time, you'll be back here day before Christmas Eve playing in League One, I'd have been like, what? Never. With Steve Evans as manager, I'd have been like, there is no chance. The odds would have been about 5,000 to 1. There's no chance. So, and now I was always looking forward to coming to Oakwell, and it was great to see the team playing just before Christmas as well. It was a proper Christmas match. I loved it.
Yeah, it was absolutely. Let me ask you one. Well, last couple of things. First thing is, we always ask. We on this show have a little teddy bear called Tumbledown Ted, and whether it plays for Barnsley or plays for the opposition, funnily enough, whenever he's near the penalty area or inside the opposition penalty area, he falls over. That's why it's called Tumbledown Ted, because he tipples over. Even if nobody touches him, he tipples over like there's a sniper in the crowd.
I love that.
Tell me this: what player have you got that's a Tumbledown Ted for Stevenage?
Oh, that's a good question, because do you know what? We don't really
don't give me this. There'll not be one. There's not one.
No,
don't give me all that nonsense.
Honestly, we don't really have someone that goes down easy. But I will say one thing: we do have a couple of players, and I know three that draw really good fouls, and they'll get fouled, and it won't look like a foul, but they've drew it really well. And those three are Jamie Reid, big goal Reedy, Jordan Roberts does it so well, and I reckon the best to do it is Jake Forster-Caskey. That guy draws so, and you think, how's he got a foul out of that? He does it all the time. So we don't really have anyone that you kind of cling on to being the tumbler. It will cheat. But I think with our squad, it's more being clever. They'll draw a fouls, you know what I mean? But those three, I would say, the best at drawing fouls. Jake Forster-Caskey, you'll see him Saturday. Ball will go down the touchline, he'll get a free kick, and you'll think, how have we given away a foul? He does it so well. But I'd say those three are the best at drawing them. Yeah,
we've got Herbie Kane that's good at that. He can, he can, and it's not that he's cheating, but he can draw a foul. He can leave his leg there and it be caught. We've got a couple like that, but here's one. What I remember, I might have told you before. I remember when we played at the first match against Horsham in the FA Cup, and we drew 3-3. Before the game, I talked to on this show, on the away end show, we talked to their historian, who will still keep in touch with, Mark Wells, who's a wonderful guy, does their programs, he creates their programs, and also the manager, Dominic De Powell, a smashing guy. I asked him, I said, just imagine this, it's what it turned out it were 3-3. It's 1-1. We're playing the 89th minute or the 25th minute of added time, because what could happen? And you get a corner, and we're drawing. You get a corner, the ball's coming over. Who's going to go down like he's been shot? And Dom said, all of them, I hope. So at 3-3, they got a corner in added time. And I thought, I can't believe they're going to put a corner in and every player in the box is going to go falling down from. It didn't. But that's as soon as it happened in real life, I thought, that's what's going to happen. They're all going down. Dom called it right. So
you had to get that one. But saying that, actually, I've got the chap who is co-host with me on our pod, Andy, really good mate of mine. He's one of his good friends, plays left back for Horsham. He played that night. He played the first 50 minutes, I think, got taken off. And before the game, the left back was asking him, because obviously he knows Andy's a big Stevenage fan, what they like. Da, da, da. So Andy was like telling him all the info. We don't know if it got to the dressing room as far as that, but I remember after the draw, the left back messaged Andy and went, "Yeah, cheers for the info. Yeah, we did have a little bit of it. Yeah, honestly, hilarious."
Love that club. Absolutely love that club. We follow them. We still follow them, and occasionally, I still keep in contact with Mark Wells, and occasionally on our show, we give our fans an update on how they're getting on, because we formed a really, really close bond with them.
That's nice.
So just such a pity that they got knocked out later on, against Stockport. I wish they'd continued. We were all rooting for them.
Yeah.
So, absolutely wonderful club. So we're really, really, let's hope that they go further and further and further for us.
Yeah.
Just hope so.
Few pre-seasons in the future, maybe that'd be class, wouldn't it, for you?
I'd love that. I'd absolutely love that. Tell me this: what's your prediction?
I mean, you're asking the most positive Stevenage fan ever, and I keep up this trend.
What you've lost once at home.
Well, yeah, you can see what I'm going to predict, but do you know what? So
I'm going to take. I know what you're going to predict. You'll be wrong. You understand that, don't you?
I'm going to try and take off. I know I'm not wearing one literally, but I'm going to take off my biased hat for a second and think about it logically. Do you know what I think? I think it's going to be a tough game. I think wouldn't be surprised if there was a period in the game where the game opened up a little bit, maybe with 25, 30 minutes to go. Because, if you look at our situation, we know that a win puts us back level with you. On the other end, a win puts you 6 clear. So I think there's going to be a moment where the game's going to open up. And do you know what? I really fancy us in this game. And look, I could be wrong, but I really fancy us to get a win. I just think that win last week was so important for us after what happened in the Cup. Got back to doing what we did best, got the win. And I think if we'd have drawn or lost last week, it wouldn't have been the right reset that we needed. But I think at home, good week training, I know you've had to play Tuesday, etc. I think we'll win the game. I think our kind of style will be the reason why we win the game, with the high press, high intensity, squash you in your own half. So I think it's going to be very tight, but I'm going to go for a reverse score of what we lost to you in the away match at your place. So I'm going to go 2-1 win for us, and I think big goal Reedy might nick it in the last couple of minutes at the end, but
could happen. It could happen.
I think it's going to be a very. I could see Devante Cole scoring, to be honest. Maybe even a penalty or something like that, or I don't know. But I'm going to go 2-1 our Stevenage with Reedy nicking it at the end.
I wouldn't expect anything less, Matt. For me, I'm going to say that keep it tight and keep the difference for it to be 1-1. But what I do need to tell you is that as soon as we finish this, I'm recording our own preview show, and I'll be predicting a 2-1 win for Barnsley. So I'm only doing this to try and make you feel better about yourself.
Oh, thanks for that. I do feel better for myself as well. Honestly, you've made my evening, Martin.
Be 1-1, Matt. Trust me. 1-1.
We take a point. We take a point. As long as we beat Wigan, we'll have a point.
Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and I'm sure everybody that watches this show will be thrilled to bits with you. So thank you ever so much for coming on. Really, really appreciate it, mate. So thank you.
No, honestly, I just want to say, absolute pleasure to come on in and speak to you too, Andy. Keep up all the good work with the show. It's brilliant. I do tune in. I did watch a video, it might have even been our game or another game, where I watched you all standing outside the ground having an interview together in the dark. I remember seeing that a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. I think it might be Port Vale, or I can't remember what it was.
Oh, we do that.
Looks cold.
Reaction. Oh. Do you know what? I'm gonna say this because I know he'll watch it. Tom Webster, who does our camera work and does the editing for the instant reaction show outside the ground. We did one on Saturday, only there were no sound, so we couldn't use it because there's no sound at all. I suggested that we could do like a silent movie and have somebody playing the piano quickly in the background, and people could try and see what we were saying. I think they could probably tell what we were saying by our expression.
Do you know what you could have done? You could have edited it out like a scene in a movie and done the voiceovers for your. Do you know what I mean? And played it on a bit.
I just thought we could get get some of the old things, we're a game of two halves. The boys done good. All that sort of stuff. We could have
Yeah,
just made it. Could have said anything. So
yeah.
yeah, so hopefully, so not only we stood out freezing cold, it was for nothing, nothing
Oh
at all.
no. But I did watch it on YouTube, and I just think what you're doing over there is great. So
Thank you.
no, look, thank you so much for having me on, and hopefully I've given a bit more insight to us at Stevenage and our journey and what we're trying to achieve as a club and a team under Steve Evans. So yeah, look, no, thanks for having me on. Best of luck for the end of the season, and you know what? I would say meeting the plus. Let's both go and get automatically promoted. Solid. We'll be back in the championship. Look, you take first or second. I don't mind. We'll be in the championship together. There we go.
That would work for me, Matt. All right then, Matt. Take care, bud. Cheers, mate.
Take care.